Well, I had some grand ideas for the sky in this, and by the time I had the entire painting washed in, I decided against it. Against those grand ideas. Because basically when I stood back and looked at things, I realized that compositionally I felt it was going to be weaker if I left things as I originally planned them. So I'll just use my hands as hand puppets here in a minute to try to describe to you what I was thinking. What were you thinking? But I just want to drop in a few lines here. Break up some of this area. Maybe we should put a rock in here. Maybe we'll just put a rock in here. Is that a rock or just an outline of a rock? I don't know. I don't want too much detail, but you know, I don't want it too simple either. I don't want it too simple. So, okay. I think that's good. I'm reconstituting, I'm strengthening these lines that I laid in initially in my underpainting, because some of them are very important. Some of them I want to be as dark as I can make them, and that's why I'm doing it. I'm also, when I'm doing that, is trying to make minor corrections as I go along, because every time you touch the thing, you should be improving it every single time. So that's kind of my that's kind of a mantra for me. Okay, that's, well, let's see, what if I were to have all this dark paint on here? Would it be beneficial for me to do that right now? A bit of a guideline, you know, a bit of a guide? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's not such a bad idea. Just to throw a line or two in here. Yeah, doing more lines. No, not that kind of lines. You know that. And yes, I get the joke. And yeah, maybe when I use doing lines in my title, maybe it's clickbait. Maybe I'm actually that evil, or that cheap, or that shallow sort of ambition that I'm willing to stoop that low to say things like that. I don't know. Ask my therapist. A person who will never exist in my life. What do I need a therapist for? I have this. Anyway. Okay. Maybe that's not so bad. Keeping it dark. I could have a few darker lines in there. Don't forget, they can always be obliterated. I don't like how they turn out. Okay, I'm not going to lay more stuff on there at the moment. I'm just going to back the camera up, turn my chair sideways so I can look you in the face while I'm trying to explain what's going on here. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's good. Excuse me while I pass in front of the camera. Yeah, you know, once it was all washed in, I felt that really that strong sky, as much as I love skies, that strong sky would have benefited a more square painting. You know, I had these rising plumes of moisture in the charcoal drawing. But this is all fairly flat. This isn't that significant. And you could make it as crisp or as dark or as light as you wanted to. It still would not carry enough strength to have all this motion. This is a horizontal painting. in general, right? We're looking at horizons. You know, this changes things a little bit. This distant horizon, yeah, it's a bit of a curve, but it's still all horizontal. The water is all horizontal. I think it's adequate. Actually, it's probably about exactly the right amount to just have a few of these foreground trees interrupting that. The sky needed to become less important. The way I had things set up, that sky was going to be so powerful that I would have needed room down here to have built what? To have more water and possibly some more rock structure very much in the foreground. I didn't leave that way, so I think what I'll do is just keep the painting a little more simple, which can be very effective. There's a great danger in making any painting too complicated. You know, I don't want a rock and a roll of toilet paper and a unicorn and a dirty diaper and the sun and the remnants of a moon and some clouds over here and some clouds, you know, and so on and so on. You can easily get caught up in that. Ooh, wouldn't that look nice there? No, it's about the painting, the whole painting. So that's what I decided to do, just dumb this down. At the moment, this might look like distant mountain. It's not going to stay that way. This is going to become sort of, I'm trying to go for a little bit of rolling cloud. It might even be one of those mornings where you have mist, you know, heavy fog that's being blown across the water, because there's water here, but there's, you know, maybe there's a whole ocean on the other side of this ridge. I don't know, but it's very plausible to have that, and I would like, I think, to have quite a bit of color here, subtle, because I don't want to compete with this, but some more color than I have so far. This is very gray right now. I'd like to warm it up a little bit. I don't know how much blue is going to stay. I think that likely there will just be the suggestion of some blues here and there. Yeah, it might become even softer than it is. You know, this line might more or less disappear. The sense of that line might remain, but the line itself may go. You know, we might just fade things off. And if I do that, even though we use warmer and obviously some higher values and warmer colors here, that'll maintain the strength of this. And I do want this to be strong. I want this to be really strong. And that would also compete with this. Now if I dumb it down, it won't compete with this, because as you can see, especially with these last few dark lines, this water can be very strong as well. I guess that's about it, really. I drew this line in here because I might even take this distant, you know, this next plane of trees, I may even cut it down more. We'll see. That'll be a decision that I make after backing up and looking at it a number of times. I'm happy with it so far. I like it. It's been a while since I've done something like this. I've done many paintings with this flavor. Because it's what you see. You might think it's formulaic because thousands of people have done thousands of paintings that have the same, the same rough composition, the same subject matter, the same what have you. It's not formulaic. It exists in nature. It's everywhere. There are billions of square miles of it. So, and that's, honestly, this turns me on more than anything else, more than sheds, fences, animals, anything else. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. I still don't know if I'm going to use a knife or a brush. But I guess we're going to find out pretty quickly tomorrow. I do have to go buy some paint tomorrow, and I also have to just keep mowing my lawn. It stays too warm and too wet, so the stuff is growing like crazy. I guess that's about it for now. Have a good night. Talk to you soon.